Thanks for reminding me. Let's go back to the presentation. Now it's recording. Okay, guys. So welcome to the seventh meeting already of the Profitable Trader Bootcamp. In today's meeting, we are going to have a talk about the current market condition, what I'm expecting in the near future, which levels and charts that I'm watching. And also what we can do in the which levels or which altcoins we can be looking at in the near future. Let me So on today's program we have the crypto markets are at a turning point. It is actually like that. I will show you exactly why it is, why we are right now at a crucial turning point, which will decide what's going to happen in the coming months. We are going to talk about the Bitcoin correction, which we have seen in Bitcoin, right? Which we also, slightly kind of expected it. We are going to have a talk about the portfolio allocation, like how you want to have your portfolio in which kind of situation, which I think is going to be very important. And we are going to analyze a lot of altcoins together. With screen sharing right here on TradingView, but like a bunch of them, and you guys can also bring in your coins which you want to get analyzed, and we will have a talk about them right here in the meeting. So let's first talk about the turning point, and that is this chart representing, that is the Bitcoin dominance chart, because right now we are actually quite at an important level. We are right now testing the 50% Bitcoin dominance level, and we've been expecting the previous time as well that we are going down to this level, but right now it is going to be an important moment for the Bitcoin dominance, because if we were to break below this level decisively, like we did right here in 2017 or 2018 right here, then that is a moment where we right here we have seen a crazy altcoin season where a lot of liquidity went to altcoins. So if we were to break below the 50% level right now again, then I would expect a similar situation. It's a little bit confusing right now, because normally I would say it is more likely to see a bounce right here, right? Like we have seen such a huge drop in the Bitcoin dominance. It would make more sense to see a bounce right here. Also, the chart is indicating that. However, we are seeing some altcoins which are looking very strong in the Bitcoin comparative, which is Ethereum and Chainlink. So that is the confusing part, because normally when the Bitcoin dominance is increasing, altcoins are correcting in the Bitcoin comparative. So the altcoins in the Bitcoin comparative should actually look slightly bearish if this chart were to look bullish. And I think the Bitcoin dominance chart is looking bullish. So but right now I don't want to make any assumptions in this chart. So I'm personally going to wait whether we are going to see that break or whether we are going to see that bounce, because right now I think it's just slightly unclear about it's very difficult to say with any certainty what we are going to see right now. If we are going to see a huge altcoin season like 2017, which I expect sooner or later to happen. I do expect it to happen. I'm just not sure if it's going to happen right now instead of in a couple of months. Teresa, please.
Jeroen, is that the daily Bitcoin dominance you're looking at?
Yes, that's the daily chart, yeah.
And when you say the 50% level, is that literally the 50 number, or is it?
Yeah, this is literally the 50, little 50 point something. Yeah, it's like almost literally the 50% level. Yeah. So some things what I've had in mind, like right here, these green boxes are the months of March, and March is really a moment where we often see the Bitcoin dominance decrease, and this March was actually the same. We have seen this March Bitcoin dominance decrease, but as you can see afterwards, after these March altcoin seasons, we are seeing often a reversal on the Bitcoin dominance. So this is another argument we could use for that reversal. But I think, this is definitely going to be one of the most important charts to watch, because if we were to see that reversal right here, then you want to have a completely different trading strategy than if we were to break that 50% level, which actually would be a extraordinary situation where a lot of liquidity will go to altcoins. And yeah, let's first go to Ethereum right here. Like Ethereum, from our trade, we have been accumulating right here. We got to our first target, the middle of the channel. This is, by the way, in the Bitcoin comparative. Right now, Ethereum is broke above the middle of the channel, and right now is going to the top. Might reach the top, might get resistance, might get some selling pressure there. Right now, it's still looking quite bullish. Ethereum just broke above its previous all-time high. We will look at the chart. I'm not sure right now if Ethereum already is again in price discovery, or that we already saw a slight turnaround. But yeah, Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative is looking very bullish, also in the macro perspective. So that is also a chart I'm going to show you. And yeah, in the coming months or in the coming half a year, I think there's a high likelihood, especially when we get a little bit more confirmation, that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin, which also makes sense because the market cap of Ethereum is way smaller than the market cap of Bitcoin, so it needs less liquidity to outperform Bitcoin as well. And I think Ethereum is definitely one of the safer bets when you searching for altcoins that can outperform Bitcoin. Then we are going to talk about about Bitcoin. So right now we have seen a correction in Bitcoin. Bitcoin has seen a drop. We broke below that rising wedge pattern, right? And in my opinion, this is a short-term correction. I think this correction can any moment can end, and Bitcoin can continue this uptrend. That's due to a couple of reasons. Of course, we can see lower levels in the shorter term time frame, but I think in the general point of view, this is just one of these bull market corrections, which is quite quickly done. We find the bottom, and we can start with the next rally. A lot of macro charts, they are pointing as well, like we have discussed in previous meetings, that Bitcoin has still a lot of upside to go in this bull market. We have a lot of fundamentals of Bitcoin that are looking strong, a lot of adoption charts which are looking very good. And one thing I wanted to share is the 50 daily moving average, which is a key level which we can use in order to get a extra confirmation whether Bitcoin has seen the bottom or not. So I'm going to show you that in this in the following chart. This is the Bitcoin US dollar chart, daily chart. And here you can see that actually every time we break above the 50-day moving average, after we broke below it, it was the start of a rally in the Bitcoin price. So this is also one of the key levels I'm going to use right now in order to get a extra confirmation whether Bitcoin has bottomed and whether Bitcoin can start the new uptrend. Right now we are trading below the 50-day moving average, so it is that is a warning signal, of course. So I'm going to wait with long positions until we break back above this level in order to get a more security and a lower risk, and actually more chances that we are entering a new uptrend. Right now we are like you see, right now we are trading below it. We have seen it previous times as well that we trade below the 50-day moving average. Normally when we trade below the 50-day moving average, it takes some time before we get back above it. So we have some times of consolidation, like right here you can see we broke below the 50-day. We have some time of consolidation, moving sideways, and the moment we break back above it, it's the start of a major rally. Previous times as well, the moment we broke below it, like this was the flash crash in March. So this was a unique situation, but right here we can see it as well. Right here we can see it as well. The moment we broke below it, we had some consolidation below the 50-day before we actually took off. And normally, that's also the funny part, normally it's quite bearish for Bitcoin to trade below the below these moving averages, also for altcoins. But right now we are seeing the opposite actually happening. We are seeing a lot of strength in altcoins. while there is still slightly some uncertainty with Bitcoin. So that is a interesting situation, which we of course need to take into account when analyzing the charts. But yeah, this is the one of the buy signals I'm going to use for Bitcoin, the 50-day moving average, along with potential reversal patterns, which form right here when we could be seeing a bottom or a bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, which we have seen right here. We got that bullish divergence, which was the start of a nice rally. Right here, we got that bullish divergence as well, which was the start of a nice rally. Right here, we also got a bullish divergence. So these are some signals to use to say with more confidence that the correction right here has been ending and that we can start the new uptrend, which right now we don't yet have those signals. So Bitcoin is still in its correction, but yeah, I do think it is shortly lived, but I'm waiting for the signals in order to act on it. Then I want to have a quick talk about the portfolio allocations, because I can see I recognize that this is something where some people struggle with, and which makes a lot of sense because it is quite difficult. So a lot of people, they like to have a very large divided portfolio. In some ways it makes sense, right? If you have a general portfolio, you have like a piece in crypto, you have a piece in gold, some real estate, some cash. That makes sense, of course, dividing your eggs in different baskets. However, in the crypto space, you want to be careful with having having too much positions into different coins. Because first of all, it is very difficult to keep track of all of those coins, right? It's very difficult to be analyzing 10 altcoins or 20 altcoins, maybe even more if you have positions in that. So my advice would always be to keep it simple, to just have a handful of cryptos where you're investing in, and it can be like let's say 2 or 3 high caps, top 10 from CoinMarketCap, maybe 2 3 mid caps, and maybe 1 or 2 low caps, because these are some altcoins where you think like, wow, I think these have a lot of potential, so I really want to be invested into those. I want to take that risk for a low cap altcoin. That is definitely something you can do, but I would really be careful with having more than 10 or 20 or 30 altcoins, because it's very difficult to have a good oversight of what is happening, when to take profits. And also some people, they like to bet on a lot of different altcoins in the hope that there is one going parabolic. And it is possible, of course, when you bet on 20 altcoins, that there might be one runner. That is definitely possible. However, the loss of the other 19 make up for the profits of the one. That is also often the case. So it is not investing with a low risk if you try to catch the runners in the altcoins. It is actually quite dangerous to do that, to have such a divided portfolio. And I would suggest it is easier to think of it in sometimes in terms of technology right here. So you say like, okay, I want to be invested, I want to have a small part in DeFi, and I want to have a small part in smart contracts like Ethereum, Cardano, or Polkadot, or oracles. That can also be something that you think, okay, this might be a good moment for oracles right now, which is Chainlink and Band protocol. Or you really do believe in the future of oracles, which is cross-blockchain payments, right? Which I could understand. Then you could that could be a reason to invest in such a project. But just to have a huge basket of a lot of altcoins, it can make it actually quite difficult in the crypto space. Then how you should divide your portfolio, because that is an important question. What you should ask yourself is, why should I position in this coin, or why should I position in that coin? Because if you think about it, the only reason why you would position yourself in any altcoin is because you hope that this altcoin is going to outperform Bitcoin. Because if it's not outperforming Bitcoin, then it's better to have your money just in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is increasing and the altcoins are growing with Bitcoin, but they are not growing faster than Bitcoin, then you actually lose gains, because if you would be positioned in Bitcoin, you would earn more because the altcoins are not outperforming Bitcoin. Now we have, of course, a lot of moments where altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, and that is the moments that you want to be positioned in altcoins, but solely for the reason that it is outperforming Bitcoin. Because if you, let's say, you want to trade, Binance token, for example, has outperformed Bitcoin, but any other token, like an example token, has a triangle formation, and you are longing the token, buying it on the spot market, and Bitcoin also had a breakout to the upside, but Bitcoin increased with 5% and that other token increased with 4%. Then it's better, of course, to be positioned in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is also the one with the lowest risk. If Bitcoin is bleeding, then the rest of the markets most of the time are bleeding as well. So in a bull market, you want to switch between your portfolio allocation from Bitcoin to altcoins, and don't have like switch your Bitcoin to a bag of 20 altcoins. No, you want to get like a couple of altcoins where you see the opportunity and where you can really say that, okay, right now I have so much advantages as a trader. Everything is lining up very perfectly, so I'm willing to take the risk with this trade. And I think it's better to look for a very good example, one good example, and put a bigger chunk of your portfolio in that, than to divide your portfolio in a lot of different altcoins to hope that one is really going to outperform and going to make up with the other profits. So that is for the bull market. When a bull market is there, you want to have your portfolio switching from being in Bitcoin or being into altcoins. Then when the bear market comes, which might take some time, but you mainly want to be positioned in Bitcoin and stable coins, because it's hard to realize right now. But once the bear market comes, then the altcoins, most of the altcoins, they will lose a significant amount of value, maybe even 90%, maybe even more than 90%. We have seen that in 2017 as well. I think Ethereum could be an exception in that, might have a similar behavior as Bitcoin. But when we are seeing the bear market eventually happening, so the last time it was Bitcoin topped, we had a couple of weeks after Bitcoin topped that the profits from Bitcoin were going into altcoins. So there was like a short altcoin season after the top in 2017. However, afterwards, when Bitcoin just continued to decrease, the altcoins the value of altcoins just completely evaporated, and most of them lost like 90% of their value, even more than what Bitcoin actually did. So that is something you really want to take care of, because at the end of the bull market, it's really going to look like we've talked about in the previous meeting as well. The narrative is going to be very strong. It's going to be really, this altcoin is going to be the future. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. And most likely, because this is a emotion and hype-driven market, when there comes a bear market, they will lose 80 to 90% of their value. So that's important to take in mind. So when the bear market comes eventually, and you recognize that it might take some time before we have a structured downtrend, long-term downtrend again, then you definitely don't want to be positioned in altcoins. You want to be positioned in Bitcoin, and in the majority, of course, in stable coins. And in a bull market, everything trends eventually up. In the macro trend, everything trends up, whether it is Bitcoin or altcoins. But yeah, you want low risk and maximize profits. So only position in alts when they outperform Bitcoin. That is what I was just saying. Like the only reason to really position into a altcoin is, for me, and I think that is that counts for most traders, is only when it's outperforming Bitcoin. It doesn't make sense to take a high risk, invest in an altcoin while it's not outperforming Bitcoin, right? Then it's better to just be positioned in Bitcoin, will have higher profits and a lower risk. So that is that is how I'm looking at my portfolio. I'm not altcoins. I'm not invested in altcoins for the long term. I don't believe in that a lot of altcoins will be there. There will be a lot of altcoins in the coming years, definitely. But the majority of the altcoins we are seeing right now, they will leave. There will a couple of them, they will stay, but it's impossible to say right now which altcoins are going to stay or which altcoins are going to be the next Amazon. Like we have seen when the internet came in, the dot-com bubble that was in the year 2000, then there were a lot of companies built on the internet, and in the end, a lot of those companies, they are gone right now. There are a couple of them are left, right? We got Amazon, we got Google, but yeah, it was very difficult to pick them back then in when we have this dot-com boom. Right now, in hindsight, it is of course easier to look at that. But before, you also had like hundreds, maybe thousands of companies, and yeah, it's very difficult to pick the Google, to pick the Amazon of those companies. So I'm not trying to do that. So that's also why I'm saying I'm not. I have a fundamental belief in Bitcoin, and I'm not. So I'm investing in Bitcoin for the longer term. But altcoins, I'm just trading to accumulate more Bitcoin. So in my opinion, it is only good to position in altcoins when they outperform Bitcoin. If they don't outperform Bitcoin, I'd rather be positioned in Bitcoin or stable coins. Then we have the shiner of right now, which is Ethereum. This is Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative, and right here we're looking at the 4-hour chart, which we charted in the short-term time frame. But this is the daily chart zoomed out, so you can see right here 2017, 2018 we had a declining resistance. We broke above that. We backtested the former resistance as new support, and this chart is looking macro perspective, looking very bullish. And if we continue, if this was the bottom, most likely we can continue this uptrend, then there is a chance that this bull market, Ethereum can even surpass the previous highs which we have set into 2017 to 18, and really start a new uptrend in the Bitcoin comparative. That is actually very bullish. So I think that Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative, in the macro perspective, I think in the immediate short-term time frame, we still have to wait for that confirmation in the Bitcoin dominance. If we are going to see that bounce, I would be very careful with altcoins. However, if we were to break that level, then I think that Ethereum is a very good bet for the macro perspective in the altcoins.
Jeroen,
Yeah.
what's the all-time high for Ethereum?
So the all-time high in the Bitcoin comparative is at, I think,
in US dollar.
No, US dollar. We right now are setting the new all-time high. We will have a look at. We can have a look at that. But this was 0.15, let's say 0.14 Bitcoin per Ethereum. So if you would, yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you, Jeroen.
No worries, no worries. Go ahead.
I was in this trade and I took profits. It's just a small trade because of just learning, using charts and my own. So I got out of it at about 0.42, but it continued going up. I thought it might drop back and I could re-enter, but it hasn't. Do you think it's worthwhile going into this trade, or?
I'm actually in a similar problem because I also took profits too early on this one. I took profits at similar levels and we broke above it. I would expect that we got a rejection for that. We had a lot of charts aligning, right? The Bitcoin dominance coming to a key level. right here we had the declining resistance which we were testing. So I also took profits too early. I'm right now considering re-entering, but only only if we are seeing that weakness coming into the Bitcoin dominance. So right now I will just still wait on the sidelines, wait till I see, because this was a nice trade, got like a 40% gain in 1 month. This is a 10% move, so we now like miss a move of 10%. It's it could be better when we left the trade open, but for me it's also, I'm quite satisfied with this trade so far, and right now it did something I didn't expect. So I'm now going to reassess what I'm going to do and might re-enter when I really see the strength coming back. But right now in the middle of this pump, I'm not going to enter Ethereum, because right now in the middle of this pump the reward is not that high as the risk to the downside, right? So I want to first get a nice entry point again before touching Ethereum again. But I do think right here, I do think it's looking very good in the macro perspective. My opinion, my plan was as well right here to sell it at the middle of the channel and try to get a better entry right here. Try to scoop some Ethereum for the next, for if we were to break that, for when we're gonna break that, the middle of the channel. But we did it directly, which was also not something I expected. But yeah. And yeah, another altcoin which macro in the macro chart is looking very bullish in the Bitcoin comparative, that is Chainlink. I think we had, this chart is looking actually very nice. Like right now we broke above the declining resistance, and we have one level to go right here, approximately 0.00073 thousand satoshis. That is one level to watch, but I think that the Chainlink right here can actually be looking very good in the Bitcoin comparative, also in the Ethereum comparative. So that's a fun thing we can do as well. We can, some altcoins we can analyze in the Bitcoin comparative, but also in the Ethereum comparative. So when they look bullish in the Bitcoin comparative and in the Ethereum comparative, then that can also be a extra reason to trade those pairs. And yeah, so we are going to have a look at a lot of altcoin charts today.
Can I just ask you one question about the Link one?
Yeah, sure, of course.
I looked at, if you look at Link a while back, when it went to its all-time highs, and you put in the Fibonacci levels,
yeah,
and then you go to the 61.8%, then this trade has the potential to go all the way up. Of course, it'll go up and down on the way up to 0.118 or something like that, 0.00118. So there's like another 70% potential still on it.
To the upside, if this would be a retracement from
to the upside.
Yes. So yeah. I think this is also.
So that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, good. No, that's a good one. That's a good one, because high chance we are going to get first a rejection from that level anyway. So that's a good level to watch. But yeah, in the macro perspective, because we broke above this declining resistance, Ethereum is just looking quite bullish. But everything is really depending on on the Bitcoin dominance right now as well. And we have another chart we can analyze as well. That is the crypto cap. So this is the total market cap of crypto excluding Bitcoin. That's the money, like the total money that is going on in crypto. And right now we are testing the $1 trillion level, which is which is really interesting, right? Because we could be seeing, and that was a bearish thing I thought about altcoins, is if we right now test the 1 trillion level, we might see a rejection, we might see some resistance from that. So it would make sense for some altcoins to retrace. But yeah, right now we are not seeing that yet. So, and if we were to break above the $1 trillion level, and that level flips into support, then that is insanely bullish. Also right here, as you can see, we created a top at 150 million. And the moment we broke above that level, we back tested that. We just had a massive increase in the market cap. This is even a logarithmic time frame. So this is also a chart. If the crypto cap looks bullish, then that means that most likely the market cap of altcoins will continue to increase. That's especially important when you're trading a lot in the US dollar comparative. Then yeah, right now I want to, everybody can throw in their charts, which we can have a look at. But yeah, we can the charts I wanted to have a look at what are the following ones, and we can do both, either in US dollar comparative or Bitcoin comparative, also in Ethereum comparative. But yeah, we wanted to have a look at Aave, Band, Cardano, Chainlink, Compound, Cosmos, Dash, Digibyte, Engine, L1, EOS, Ethereum, 0x, Polkadot, Ren, XRP, Stellar, Uniswap, VeChain, Yen Finance, Zcash, and Monero. And if anybody has some other charts you want to have a look at, then we are going to do that. So let me stop share the presentation and let me share my trading view. So this is, for an example, this is the Chainlink Ethereum chart. So here you can also see that in the past, Chainlink has been outperforming Ethereum, but right now we have seen that, that the correction for Chainlink in Ethereum, which looks quite similar how Chainlink behaved in the Bitcoin comparative. So that's quite interesting. But right now we are also testing a support level right here, which I thought is quite interesting, because Chainlink and Ethereum are sometimes coins, like when Ethereum is making a run, it can lead the other coins. So when Ethereum is in a rally, then most of the time after Ethereum, the profits are being taken out in other coins, like for example Chainlink. So that is quite interesting. So let's first have a look. Oh yeah, let's quickly have a look at the link in the Bitcoin comparative. That chart is looking quite similar as in the Ethereum comparative. Let me draw that fib retracement tool Mina was talking about right here. So you mean this level, right? 95,210 Satoshis as the, that would be an increase of 34% from here, and from these levels, that would be a 100% level. So this is definitely one level to watch, of course, in Chainlink, 95,200 Satoshis. And I do that also quite often, like for example, right here, when there is a very significant Fibonacci level, I already put my sell orders right there, because the chances that we just break through that level are actually very slim. Most of the time we first test that level and then we get a huge sell off, and then if it continues to look bullish, we're going to first going to retest another level before we are going to break above that. So that is an interesting way to sometimes catch nice opportunities, because these opportunities don't come so often, because this is also then an opportunity which has been formed since a very long period of time. But these trading tricks actually often quite work, where you can just, like in a macro time frame, just set a sell order or sometimes buy order if it's the other way around, right, at the 61.80%. So let's start with the Bitcoin dominance, because that is going to be a very important chart. So and this chart is really determining what is going to happen next with the altcoins, right? If we're really going to see that bounce right here, and we are going to see a new uptrend and Bitcoin dominance is going to increase, like for example we have seen right here, something like that, or even though like this, then for the next months or the next week, the liquidity will be focused back on Bitcoin, and that actually almost all the time comes along with a big move in the Bitcoin dominance. So if the Bitcoin dominance right here is going to bounce up, then it actually means two things. It means that either Bitcoin is going to see a huge dump, or Bitcoin is going to see a huge rally. It's not likely that Bitcoin is going sideways and the Bitcoin dominance is going up, because when Bitcoin is going sideways, traders and investors, they want to speculate, they go into altcoins where there's more action. So so when Bitcoin is seeing a huge move either to the upside or to the downside, we are seeing that Bitcoin dominance increase as well. But right now, when I look at this chart, which is not always clearly you can clearly analyze this chart like normal charts like Bitcoin US dollars, it's a little bit more choppy, and sometimes you can see some unlogical behavior right here. But yeah, in general, it also works the same. So right now we have seen a drop in the Bitcoin dominance from the top till the bottom of 30%, which is quite a drop. And right now we can see that the RSI is oversold at low levels. We could be forming a divergence quite soon, and it would make sense if the Bitcoin dominance were to bounce. It would make sense to bounce from these level of 50%, because this also has been a very important level in the past. So yeah, the altcoins that we are going to analyze are also really depending on this chart, of course. If we break this chart to the downside, then most likely the bullish cases for the altcoins are going to play out. If we were to see that bounce right here, then that would be bearish for the altcoins in the Bitcoin comparative. Doesn't have to directly mean that it is bearish in the US dollar comparative. That depends on Bitcoin's direction. So when Bitcoin is rallying, then it could be that altcoins are also rallying, but again, that they are not outperforming Bitcoin. So they might grow with Bitcoin, but they don't grow as fast as Bitcoin. If Bitcoin were to go down, see a bigger dump, then yeah, altcoins in the US dollar comparative most likely will see a bigger dump, especially when the Bitcoin dominance is going up. So that is this is a very important chart to keep in mind when analyzing all of these altcoins. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with AVE in the
Before you do that,
Oh, yeah?
could we look at Link in the US dollar comparative?
Oh, sure. Let me have a look. Link reached the target. Yeah. Yeah, so Link actually looking quite interesting. We already have, we actually quite in a strong uptrend right here. We had recently a triangle formation. We broke that triangle formation. Once we've hit the target, we saw a drop. And yeah, right now it looks like we want to, Chainlink wants to continue this uptrend. So far, no warning signals yet. Let me have a look what's going on with the momentum, if you can see some clear trends there. Yeah, we have kind of a triangle formation in the momentum, which is quite nice because it's a clear uptrending support, clear declining resistance. So this you can use in confluence with what's happening with the price, right? If the price would slightly come down and it would like hit support right here, then can be an extra thing you can use for a buy. But right now I think Chainlink is actually looking quite good, as long as Bitcoin is not going to see a huge drop in its price, then I think Chainlink can definitely continue this growth. Yeah.
So if you were putting money into Chainlink for the long term, would you say that this is a good or a bad time to put money in?
I think it's a good time. It's a good time for the long term to invest in Chainlink, definitely. And that's not only because of the US dollar value, because this is this is just in a strong uptrend, but I think especially in the Bitcoin comparative, it's looking just very strong. Let's go to
whatever you small amount of Bitcoin, Ethereum to a significantly larger part of that.
So so yeah, on the weekly time frame right here, it's also looking quite bullish. So when it's looking bullish in the Bitcoin comparative, then it automatically is also quite bullish in the US dollar comparative. Because if Bitcoin would drop, then most likely the altcoins will drop, right? So in that case, it's actually this chart is strengthening the US dollar scenario as well, that we can see a continued growth there. And I believe that's the case, yeah. So right now, I think for Chainlink is definitely a good macro buy option. And if you want to have like a perfect, like a nice confirmation, yeah, we also get now almost, not yet, but we could be getting a 4-hour close above the declining resistance in the RSI, which can be a short-term nice level or nice sign to watch. But we also have this level of 73,200, which has been acting as resistance right there. But yeah, when we break that level flips support, that's definitely a nice level, which is showing us that the Chainlink just left this consolidation range and just enter a new range, wants to continue its uptrend. So yeah, basically I think Chainlink is looking bullish in the US dollar comparative and in the Bitcoin comparative. Then let's have a look at Aave. So Aave is looking quite interesting as well, especially when we are going to see altcoin season, because we still really haven't. Yeah, we took off slightly. We have seen a small bounce right here, but we haven't really seen that take off yet. While Aave is in an uptrend, so this is looking quite bullish and also quite simple, because it is continued to look bullish unless we break below this zone. So I think Aave in the Bitcoin comparative is also looking bullish. Of course, the best entry would be right here. Right now, I think a good entry point would be this horizontal line. If Aave comes back at it approximately at 7,000 satoshis, so that could be a level to watch. But in general, if the Bitcoin dominance breaks, then we can definitely see a nice continued uptrend in Aave. And of course, the opposite is true as well. Like when we are going to see that bounce in the Bitcoin dominance, then the chances are quite likely that we will break this level and go down. That's also the interesting part. Like the Bitcoin dominance is looking like it's going to a moment where we can reverse. But if we have a look at the altcoin charts are looking quite bullish. Ethereum is looking good, Chainlink is looking good. So that is the controversial signals that we are seeing right now, which can be slightly confusing, right? But yeah, that's what it is. So that's why I prefer to slightly wait still a little bit to get that confirmation in the Bitcoin dominance until I'm really going to reallocate my portfolio. But right now, looking at nice entries is already important then. But I think, yeah, Aave in the Bitcoin comparative is so far looking bullish in an uptrend. We flipped former resistance into support. Right now, we are bouncing off from that, and looks like Aave wants to continue that uptrend. Let's have a look in the US dollar comparative. So yeah, in the US dollar comparative, something similar. It's a little bit difficult to say what it is exactly, because we could be trading in a sideways consolidation range, something like this, maybe like this, where Aave is just consolidating sideways. The RSI is looking quite nice, right? We have a lot of space for more upside potential, so that is looking good. It also could be a falling wedge pattern, and we right now backtested former resistance as new support. Also looks quite valid for that. I think in the US dollar comparative, this is looking bullish as long as we are trading above above this zone, which is starting at what is it approximately? Can't see it really good. Approximately starting at 325 to 315 approximately. So, and I wouldn't, if I would trade this, I wouldn't have a stop loss like right here, which means that if the price does this, that you're being stopped out. But I would more have a stop loss like written down in your plan, like once when you see a daily close below this zone, that is a moment, okay, I'm going to leave Aave and might wait for further or like lower prices to enter back in once we break this level. Yeah, you can use then the Fibonacci levels, like maybe like at 250 or 192, maybe even 150, depending what's happening. Right now, it doesn't look like that, but yeah, everything can change very quickly, of course. So it is always, even though things are not looking a certain way, always good to think about it at least. But yeah, right now, I would say that this chart is looking bullish, uptrend, consolidation, and I think we can after some consolidation we can continue this uptrend. Let's have a look at band, and let's start with band in the Bitcoin comparative. Yeah, band is looking quite interesting. Band is a oracle, so it's like a similar coin as Chainlink. Yeah, right here we have seen a huge rally. This is, by the way, Bitcoin comparative. We have seen a major rally in band. This is a very low cap coin, by the way, guys. 6,000. Let me check the. What is the? Let me check where is band in coin market cap. It's ranked number 140 with a market cap of 370 million, which is very, yeah, this is what I call a low cap coin, which can be interesting, of course, because if this is looking very bullish, then you can definitely gain in the Bitcoin comparative, also in US dollar comparative. Like these gains, like 6,000% is not something you see quite often with high cap coins, right? But yeah, band is an oracle similar as Chainlink. It's really respecting the Fibonacci levels right here, which I think is very interesting. We have seen that nice rally, which is something we want to see in order to know like that there is interest in this altcoin, that things are going on. And afterwards, after a rally, we really would like to see that capitulation or that retracement to the 61.80%. And when that level is holding support and we can bounce off from it, and that is a good signal and one of the early signals that can show us that band wants to continue this uptrend in the Bitcoin comparative. So yeah, right now we still have some resistance at the 50%, but I think this is definitely a good buy. Entry would be best at 61.80%, but this is a nice coin if you believe in oracles, and Bitcoin dominance is going to break, and we're going to see that crazy altcoin season. Then this might be an interesting coin, which right now around these levels is providing a buying opportunity in this consolidation moment. So is any of you guys, I'm quite curious, like maybe some of you guys can share an experience about 2017. Any of you guys were here in 2017 with this altcoin boom, altcoin mania? Nobody? Nobody, yeah? No, okay. Oh, that was actually, it was really crazy for me, really something unique that I've experienced in my life. Like it was really mania to the fullest. Like you can wake up in the morning or in the evening. I went to you go to a party, you had like a wallet where you can join ICOs. Back then, ICOs were really a thing, like the pre-sale token sales, and you could just like invest, like let's say there comes an ICO, you put $1,000 in the ICO, the next day you wake up, that $1,000 became 3,000. just after one night of sleep, you know, and then that 3,000 you put in another coin, and the next day you wake up, it's 10,000. You know, it was really, really crazy. And if we are going to see something like that again, that would be awesome. But yeah, it's also quite dangerous. It's often shortly lived, and it's really, that's also what I'm really trying to prepare you guys a little bit on, is that the narrative is going to be something quite tricky, because if you want to outperform the market in this bull market, you have to make decisions which are going against your emotions. So when you think like that, oh, the dollar is going to collapse, we will never use the dollar in 1 year, you know, the dollar is going to leave, it's only going to be Bitcoin, then that might be a narrative which not comes true, you know. So this is something to think about. This is something to think about. I really remember the moment when Bitcoin was like 20,000 US dollars in 2017. And 2017, I remember it like yesterday. I had a couple of Bitcoins back then, and for me that was like quite some money, because back then I was still a student, and I was really like, wow, okay, it was at that point of my life where I had actually the most money in my life back then. And I just went to bed without taking any profits, and just thought like, yeah, we are going to 100,000, see you at 100K, you know. Don't think about any other scenario. And the narrative back then was also, oh, Bitcoin is super scarce, and the only way we can go is up, which in the macro trend we will do. We will in the macro trend go up, but we also have this market which is driven by hype and emotions, which in the macro trend is up, but it is coming with extreme peaks and extreme panic. And that is something really to think about. And also with these altcoins in 2017, there was a moment where everything needed to be decentralized. So if you think about it, like a decentralized social media, okay, social media needs to be decentralized. Newspaper needs to be decentralized. Everybody creating these tokens for a decentralized project. But right now, if you look at the world, there are not so much decentralized platforms. There is no decentralized social media. They all didn't survive from 2017. But when you were in the midst of that narrative in 2017, it was like it's like something you really take as a reality. But it's in the mania, it's in the euphoric mania stage. So it's important that when it comes this time, that you might be early on in recognizing that, like, okay, this might be a little bit irrational investors behavior. So I recognized it right now, I take a note of it, and I'm going to be extra careful, or I'm going to be a controversial. I'm not going to think as the herd, I'm going to go against the herd, you know. Those are important things in this year of what is going to come. So let's have a look.
That's right. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
sorry, no, say it, please.
That's really important, because I noticed recently with a lot of talk of the Bitcoin dominance changing, and there's a lot of videos of people saying get out, you know, exit strategies. There's a level of tension in the body of getting it right, you know, because there are profits to be realized and not just let it disappear, you know. So
yeah,
it's important to know exactly when to do that, or just set a target maybe with my altcoins and say, okay, no matter what, you know. Because I'm going through each one saying, which one do I want to hold long term and which ones do I want to let go of? Because I've got quite a few.
Yeah, I understand that. Like I said, like for my advice would definitely be like to watch out with holding altcoins for a too long longer term, as a long-term investment, you know, because most of them they will they will bleed actually quite hard in the US dollar comparative, also in the Bitcoin comparative, after we have seen the top of the hype, after we finish this this cycle, the top of this cycle.
So there's not necessarily you can find the neos or those kinds. Yeah,
you can find them, but it only makes sense to be positioned in them in a certain period. It doesn't make sense to be positioned in them for like the longer term time frame, at least most of them.
got it. Thank you.
But that's also like I also want to make sure, like that's also my opinion, and also from my experience in 2017. Like I remember that in 2017 I had a lot of altcoins. There was like altcoin season was the thing there. And afterwards, when we were in this bear market, I remember it when we just entered the bear market, all these high prices of the altcoins were still in my mind. Litecoin at I'm just calling something. Yeah, Litecoin at $1,000 US, this coin there. So when we were seeing that bear market, I was starting to accumulating more and more. And I bought some Bitcoin, and I bought some Dash, I bought some Litecoin, and so on. But then in the end, all these altcoins which I was accumulating they just continue to bleed, because in a bear market, altcoins, you really don't want to be positioned in altcoins. Bitcoin was going down, but the altcoins were like, I buy Litecoin at 700, and then I buy it at 600, I buy it at 500, and it's just continued to go down, and then back then you also don't yet realize that you are in a bear market. We were not aware, at least this cycle is also quite different in the sense of everybody right now everybody, like a lot of people are aware of these cycles. Back in 2017, we were less aware of these cycles. It was the second bull market, and we didn't really knew what there was coming, So we didn't have the stock to flow model. We didn't have these macro charts. We didn't have these nice logarithmic time scales, because the data points were also not there yet. So yeah, that was also quite different than what we are seeing right now. Right now, everybody has so much access to all of these models, and which makes it actually the prediction is, it's different than in 2017. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to say is that altcoins were just being crushed after Bitcoin topped. We had the last altcoin season, and afterwards it's just really crushed, and they were like losing 80 to 90% of their value. And you don't want to sit through those years, because you have to sit through 2 years maybe, where you just see your portfolio like on a daily basis going down, like on a weekly basis, let's say that going down. So that was also one moment where I just flipped everything, all my altcoins, I just flipped everything to Bitcoin. So I think like I said in the presentation as well, like bull markets are definitely for Bitcoin and altcoins, but in a bear market, you want to leave the altcoins. But I don't believe we are there yet. But so right now you still want to, of course, look for altcoins. There's a lot of money to be made, but once the party is over, you really want to, in my opinion, you don't want to hold on to these altcoins for the longer term time frame. But also don't listen to me if you really believe in a certain project and you really want to be part of that community, you want to be invested in that, then sure, then you should do that. I'm just talking from my experience and what I would do and what I've learned from the previous bull market, how I'm going to approach the coming one, But the project you are invested in and you really believe in, and that might be some project which could be doing good in the future. But then there should be definitely a very good fundamental base for that project, because that was my realization in 2017 as well. Was you had all these ICOs, which everybody was raising money for their companies, for their tokens. But then when you study the company and when you read the white paper, and then you think like, but there is no, after the ICO, there is no business model in this company. There is no income stream anymore. How can this company survive after the token sale? most of them, they didn't even thought about it. So they made a company, they put a token sale, they get millions of dollars, but the whole ecosystem of that thing was not sustainable. There was no income stream, nothing to pay the developers, and yeah, that's why a lot of projects just died out. So that's also one thing. Like if you really want to invest in a project for the longer term time frame, you really should have like a good fundamental, I think, a fundamental reason for that. So for example, Aave, I'm actually quite impressed by Aave. Could be a reason why to be invested in that. It's decentralized finance. It's the future of banking. It takes away the middleman. It takes away the whole banks like that. So there I do think there is some fundamental value. However, that's where the other side, it's also replaceable. So Bitcoin is not really replaceable. That's why I always say like Bitcoin is really, really safe. It's super safe to be invested in Bitcoin because it has already proved itself. And all these other altcoins, in some form, they can be replaceable. Right now we have Chainlink, nice Oracle. Next year, we don't know. Maybe the technology is increasing and some other project is going to be Oracle, doing the Oracle better, cross blockchain payments. We don't know that right now. So that is a increased risk, right? If you invest for the longer term time frame. If you know, like we had IOTA in 2017 was like 0 fees, but then it is centralized, and then there's another project coming with 0 fees, and yeah, things are getting a little bit more unclear, and risks are actually increasing. So that is something you want to think about. Like Bitcoin, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is you cannot replace Bitcoin. That's why it is such a safe bet. You know, it's almost a certainty that your money is going to increase and appreciate in the future. But all these altcoins is not bringing you a certainty. It's all a high risk investment. And it's low risk in a certain period. In a bull market, it is a low risk. But in the longer term, it is a very high risk.
Jeroen, is there a specific point in the Bitcoin dominance chart that the altcoin craze starts? Is that the 50 point or is that lower?
Well, right now we are testing a important level. That's the 50 level. Right here in 2017 and 2017 began to 18, we had that final drop after Bitcoin topped out. So right here, wow, that's I haven't even thought about that. But yeah, right here, Bitcoin topped out. Approximately, what is it now? Like right here, I think the retest. This retest, Bitcoin topped out. I think that was at 20,000 US dollars. Let's overlay the Bitcoin chart to be sure. Yeah, so as you can see right here, let's zoom in right here, Bitcoin top. So the moment, that is an interesting thing. The moment we broke below the 50% level, the previous time Bitcoin topped. And then afterwards, Bitcoin dropped. Then we had the final altcoin season, which was like, this is a crazy season where we have seen a drop of, a drop of 30% in the Bitcoin dominance. That's really crazy. Because right now, sometimes even with these smaller drops, you already see some altcoins like really, really doing good, right? Rallying, Chainlink rallying 40%, Ethereum rallying 40%, or Chainlink even more. Then with a drop of 30%, that is a real altcoin season with crazy altcoin prices. But yeah, so afterwards we topped. Then we had and then finally we saw that Bitcoin dominance came back. Bitcoin dominance bottomed and eventually came back up again, and eventually went into this uptrend and just went back to these levels of 70 to 72%. And then afterwards we had this rally, right? And in this rally, that's also quite interesting. There you can also see that the Bitcoin dominance is going up when Bitcoin is rallying. Right here, the rally we had in early 2019, where we went to 14,000 approximately. Then the Bitcoin dominance went up. And then after Bitcoin topped, right here, we also saw that people were slightly taking profits into altcoins.
Jeroen, those green bars you have marked on the Bitcoin dominance chart, are those the Mercury retrogrades?
No, it's not. It's a periodical event. These green bars is the
Okay.
like it's the approximate month of March. That is
Okay.
so that's why we have like a lot of different indicators right now. Like normally after the March drops, we have actually seen every year. We are seeing, except for this one, we are seeing a bounce in the Bitcoin dominance, bounce back up, which is also a time right now. So yeah, it is a little bit confusing. So that's also why I think like I really want to have a little bit more confirmation, because if we break this level to the downside, for me, I really would like to go aggressive into altcoins to really take advantage of this. But right now, when we sort of in limbo, right, we are not, there's no clear direction. There's no clear direction in Bitcoin. There's not yet a clear direction in the Bitcoin dominance because we are approaching the support level with reversal signals like oversold in the RSI and so on. So that's why I want to approach it now, still a little bit cautiously. But yeah, once we break, then I would like to definitely aggressive into altcoins for a short time and take advantage of a altcoin season, which could happen quite soon. But it could also happen that it's being postponed. So yeah, where were we? So yeah, everything depends right now a little bit on this chart, in my opinion, for the coming strategy for the coming weeks and months. Let's quickly have a look at the Bitcoin chart itself.
So if I hear you correctly, since we're kind of after March, chances are it's going to go back up a little.
Yeah,
historically, right?
Yeah, so
so you don't expect it would go down to 50% right now?
15%. You mean
50?
50? No, 50 is testing right now. 50. So I expected 50. Like this is something I have been anticipating, 50%. But now the question is like, what is going to happen afterwards? You know, are we going to bounce from 50 or are we going to drop below 50? And the confusing part here is if I just purely look at this chart, I would say most likely we see a bounce, because we had a 30% drop without any, just going down, not any bounces. We have a March decrease, March altcoin season, which like 3 out of 4 times is being followed by a bounce as well. But the only thing which is different right now is that a lot of altcoins, they look actually quite strong. Like Ethereum mini Bitcoin comparative is looking quite strong. Chainlink in the Bitcoin comparative is looking quite strong. Like Ethereum right now is just like pushing above, just proof above the previous high right here, and going to the next target at approximately 0.052 in the top of the channel. So yeah, that's the other signal. That's the confusing part, right? That if you basically look at the Bitcoin dominance, it looks like, yeah, we might probably see a bounce, but when we have a look at the altcoins are still looking bullish. So so I'm going as well to anticipate on, we might see a bigger altcoin season if we just were to break below the 50 level. So that's why that's why we are going to have a look at the altcoins to prepare for that. But let's go back to Bitcoin first. And let's bring out the 50-day. Yeah, so right now we still trading below the 50-day. Let's see if we got that bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, kind of not really clean, not really nice, but yeah, we have kind of a divergence right here. Let's check if the MACD is also showing that. Yeah, and it would make it. It would be a valid divergence, I think. But yeah, so that is one thing we are seeing in Bitcoin. We have, but we're still trading below the 50-day moving average, and as long as we are trading below that, I would say I would Bitcoin just expect to consolidate, to really start a new rally. I think we really have to break above the 50 daily moving average first, which right now we still trade below it. So, but this is I do not think that we are right now enter a long-term downtrend. I think this correction can be quite quickly can be over, and we can just start a new uptrend. That's what I think the more likely scenario right here.
Can I just ask, do you think that it's forming like a falling wedge then, just on the back of what you were saying, that you think that it could bounce from here even though it's below the 50 week moving average? I was just looking, I'm just kind of watching it, and I'm just kind of like, is it forming this falling wedge in your opinion?
But you mean rising wedge? You mean this pattern?
No, like I'm looking at the 4 hour. What Bitcoin's doing now, I can't see on your chart, sorry, but I'm just looking at
let's go to the 4-hour chart.
trading view. Yeah, like so. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so what it's forming now, I'm just kind of like, I'm just putting in trend lines and just kind of watching it. And I've actually gone from further down. So we've had the drop, and then I've just come. So
here.
I've put the trend line. Yeah, like so I've put the trend line from like the red. Yeah, from the drop. Yeah, exactly.
This, yeah. So for me, this looks for me slightly like a horizontal triangle, a
Okay, yeah.
descending triangle, which is, it's not the most common pattern we have seen in Bitcoin, a descending triangle, especially not after a drop. But yeah, most of the time this is a bearish signal, not bearish signal, but bearish pattern, because the horizontal level is the most likely to break. But right now, when we are on such a strong uptrend, you don't want to assess this as a bearish pattern. I would stay neutral in this and wait till you are seeing a breakout. So a couple of ways to do this is, if you want to short in a bull market, that's possible. You could
No.
you could no, it's quite scary, right? But okay. So
Yeah.
let's don't think about shorting then. But if we were to break this, we could see a further drop. So this could be the pattern, the descending triangle. But this can also be a long position or long opportunity once we break above the declining resistance right here. Because we can.
You would also wait then to go above the 50 week moving average. Yeah,
so I personally would wait to get above that level, and I would also trade with a lower leverage if I would go long on that. But if some people think like, okay, right now Bitcoin already bottomed, let's go, you could already take it. You could take the trade already once we break out right here. So it is possible to if you really expect Bitcoin that we've bottomed, that this is like a double bottom formation, and we might just go from an uptrend right here, then you might already want to open that long the moment we break above the declining resistance right here. But then you don't have the confirmation yet that we really get back above the 50-day, because like we've seen in previous times before, when we trade below the 50-day, the price can be actually quite choppy. So we don't know yet if this is really going to turn into a next uptrend unless we break and have a daily close above this level. And then previous times you see then that's often a very bullish sign, right? Like here, right here also, and right here as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm just trying to practice patience and just like really trying to see a pattern, and take everything into consideration. But I'm still, I guess, in that place of doubting. I'm like, is it going to go lower? Is it, just really yeah, even unsure, even trying to look at it. But yeah, I just wanted your opinion on that. But yeah, that's great. Thank you.
But the funny part right here is like where Bitcoin is right now. Everybody is super unsecure. Everybody,
Yeah.
all the traders, they don't know what's going to happen right now. It's just not clear, and sometimes it's like that. You know, sometimes sometimes it's just not really clear what's going to happen, right? And then yeah, it's better to wait and get
Yeah.
a nice opportunity again, and then act accordingly. But I think right now I see it also around me. I think a lot of people, they are quite confused what's going on. You know, everybody, yeah, nobody wants to believe that this is a Bitcoin top. Of course, a lot of macro charts showing that this is not a Bitcoin top, but we do break below some averages. We had this rising wedge pattern we broke, so there's a lot of and we right now have a little bit choppy price action. There's no clear divergence, there's no clear break of the trend. So yeah, I think for everybody right now, it's quite confusing to say what is going to happen. So it's better to take a step back and
wait.
wait. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Okay, then let's go back to we have a long list. Band in US dollars. Let's have a look at it. I'm also quite interested in that one. To have a look. So yeah, this band protocol in US dollar looks quite interesting. We have like looks like pattern-wise a cup and handle, although like these altcoins are sometimes very not really respecting the typical rules for technical analysis. But yeah, I think this is a clear neckline. We have at approximately, what is it, approximately 19 US dollars. And yeah, I think if band breaks above this, flips this level into support, then that is looking good. So that's for band protocol in the US dollar comparative. Then let's go to Cardano in Bitcoin. First, okay, so Cardano is moving, is also not really, a little bit indecisive. We had the 61.8, which is still holding, which is good. Let me check what to make from this. Yeah, it's not. It looks like Cardano right now is consolidating. I think right now here is also not a clear direction and not a nice entry yet to really say with confidence like, okay, we can enter a trade with low risk. We had a major rally Cardano, so this chart would make slightly more sense to see a correction in the Bitcoin comparative if we would see that bounce in the Bitcoin dominance. But yeah, there's also a horizontal line right here, which is acting as resistance. Also right here slightly, I think it is more clear on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, so that is right here at approximately 2,400 Satoshis. So that would be the resistance that I'm watching right now in Cardano. But I don't think this is looking very beautiful now. If we really break above 2,400 and that level flip support, then I think Cardano is looking bullish in the Bitcoin comparative. But right now, price is looking quite choppy, not so clear what to make of it. Let's have a look at the US dollar comparative of Cardano. Yeah, so we are seeing the same thing in the US dollar comparative. We are in the sideways range. We are just consolidating. It's a big range between $1 and $1.50. Yeah, if we were to leave this range to the downside, that would be very bearish for Cardano. If we were to break out to the upside, that would be bullish, and I think could definitely bring Cardano to two US dollars. If we were to go to the 1 hour time frame, then we have some form of a triangle formation right here. which we could see a breakout from, but I would personally wait if you trade this. Yeah, you could anticipate, of course, with a break to the downside or break to the upside, but in general, I think this would be the most important channel. This bigger sideways channel consolidation range where Cardano is trading in right now. For me to say a clear direction right here, I want to see yeah, break to the upside or break at least leave this consolidation range. It's interestingly here is also that the middle of the channel is being respected quite good as well. So that is quite interesting. So that is what I would be watching in Cardano. Then yeah, let's quickly go to Chainlink. We already had a look at that, but let's just go over it. Yeah, Chainlink is just look, wow, Chainlink is looking really good right now. It's trying to break the horizontal resistance. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, so Chainlink is looking very bullish right now. Looks like it wants to continue to increase. Right now, trying to break above an important level, 73,200 approximately. If this level flips support, that would be yeah, that would be very bullish for Chainlink, and we could be going to the levels 61.80%. I definitely expect some resistance, some form of resistance right there. I would definitely be taking profits there, but I think in general this trend can continue upwards. So in general, we can see Chainlink continuing this uptrend. In the Bitcoin comparative, let's go to the US dollar comparative. I think this is also just continued to grow. Yeah, right now we are at the level of 40. All-time high is at 44. Yeah, it looks like we finished the correction and Chainlink can continue this uptrend. So that is looking good. Yeah. So this is so far this is looking good. Then let's go to Compound Bitcoin. Compound is something similar as let me check DeFi rate. Compound is something similar as Aave, as the Aave protocol. So you can also stake there. What is this lending rates? So right here we can see Aave and Compound. So I think the percentages on Aave are slightly higher than on Compound, as you can see right here. So I don't have any experience with Compound yet. I just know it's something similar as Aave. So let's have a look what is happening right here. So yeah, this is also looking quite bullish, and right now we are testing a important level. So that's a lot of altcoins testing an important level right now. So this is the level of 10,860 approximately. Has been support right there, has been acting as resistance right here. If we were to break this level, then I also expect a continuation of Compound in the Bitcoin comparative, and we might break it quite soon, because it looks like there's enough momentum to break this level. I don't think there's enough to after break to continue an uptrend, but it makes sense to break, come back down, test this level, and then slowly take off after a new consolidation. But yeah, Compound also not looking that bad, and might in the DeFi space also have some potential. Then let's have a look at Comp in US dollar. Comp US dollar is looking quite similar as Band protocol, right? We have also horizontal resistance, which we try to break right now at, what is it, at slightly below, approximately $560. You could make a inverse head and shoulders pattern from it. I don't like it so much, but could be an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. I think the neckline is just most important. As long as we break above the neckline and this neckline flips to support, then this token is looking bullish as well in the Bitcoin comparative, as well in the US dollar comparative. Now let's have a look at Cosmos. So this one, yeah, this is an example which, let me have a look at the weekly time frame. Yeah, this altcoin to me doesn't look that great, to be honest. It's a little bit sideways movement, not a clear direction. We don't have a nice capitulation. We also don't have that much clear levels. So I think the Cosmos and the Bitcoin comparative is not looking too interesting. Let's go to Cosmos USD. Yeah, we are on an uptrend, some form of consolidation right here going on. We could continue this uptrend, but because it's not too interesting in the Bitcoin comparative, I wouldn't be too interested in this this token. Let's go to Dash. So yeah, this is quite interesting. Go to the weekly time frame. So yeah, this is looking quite interesting in the Bitcoin comparative. Have seen 97. Like, this is what I mean. Like, this is an altcoin, right? Like, look, in the Bitcoin comparative since 2017 or since 2018, right here, you can see that this just lost 97% of its value in the Bitcoin comparative. And Bitcoin is dropping in the US dollar comparative. So this is just massive. You don't like this is why you don't want to be positioned in altcoins in a bear market, because this is what happens. Massive capitulation. Dash was a very bullish altcoin in 2017. For a lot of, I'm not sure, I'm quite sure that Dash was even in the top 10 on coin market cap in these times. Imagine how weird it is, right? A couple of years later, Dash right now is, where is Dash? It's also not, it's not a low cap coin, but it's definitely not in the top 10. It's now ranked 46, and it lost 95% of its value in the Bitcoin comparative. So yeah. So yeah, that's something to take in mind. Like, right now it's looking interesting. We have a bullish divergence right here on the weekly time frame. I always like to see this capitulation. I like to see 97% lost Bitcoin comparative, because then there is a lot of growth potential if this coin is picking up, of course. But if we go to the daily time frame, what I don't really like is that the RSI is reacting so extreme. So right here, we can see that the RSI is already right here at overbought conditions, while we just have a small increase in the price. So we have a small increase right here, but the RSI is already at the top. So that's not most beautiful to see. But yeah, here we could see an inverse head and shoulders pattern with the neckline right here at approximately, what is it, 6,380 satoshis. Left shoulder right here, head in the middle, right shoulder there. So this would be my level where I would say, like, I can be bullish. So when we break above that level and test that as support, that would be a bullish that would be a bullish signal for me. Right now I would wait for that. So it's preparing for a nice setup, but right now I'm not seeing it yet. Let's have a look at Dash USD. So yeah, it's confirming also a little bit, like, it's not looking super strong. We are on an uptrend, a little bit choppy price action. We got a big bearish divergence right here on the daily, like higher high in the price, lower high in the RSI, lower high in the MACD, which is confirming the divergence. So it's not looking too interesting for me in the shorter term time frame right here. And let's go to DigiByte. So this is DigiByte. I don't know what the utility is of this token, but I remember this token from 2017. Okay, rank number 57. So it's a mid cap, 2 billion market cap. Okay, so right here we have seen it's breaking previous all-time high. Okay, so that's interesting. Then I'm watching at the wrong chart. Let's go to Binance. Also doesn't have that history yet. This is 2018. Oh yeah. That was at 12 cents. Now it's at 14 cents. So the peak in 2018 was 13 cents approximately. Right now we are trading above that. So that is quite interesting, breaking above previous all-time high. Yeah, so I think let's have a look at DigiByte in the Bitcoin comparative. It's not looking too bad if it can hold the previous all-time high. Yeah, so right here we're already seeing a little bit more interesting. It's looking a little bit more sloppy in the Bitcoin comparative. Yeah, with a huge sell wave right here, I would be careful with this token, also because we have a bearish divergence on the in the Bitcoin comparative. So that's actually quite interesting how the Bitcoin and US dollar comparative can help us both out in how this coin look. But due to its weakness on the Bitcoin comparative, I would not be so interested in that. Let's go to Engine. Engine also bearish divergence on the daily time frame, which doesn't have to be bad, because we also could see that consolidation to the downside while the price is moving sideways, right? Which can actually be a bullish sign. But let me have a look. Yeah, so technically this coin is in a uptrend. We are in an uptrend right here. We backtested the previous resistance as support, and so far we are still trading above it. I wouldn't say it's the most cleanest chart, but yeah, definitely if Bitcoin breaks that 50% level, we can see a continuation growth here. But it's not the right now I wouldn't see a nice entry, like, or it would be this level, the 3480 level, maybe 3500. Let's have a look at Engine in the US dollar comparative. Looks like it's consolidating right now at approximately $2.5 US. This is a little bit easier to analyze. You have a clear horizontal support at $2 US. RSI is moving down with huge divergence, right? But it doesn't have to be bearish as long as the price is trading above $2. If we see that break below $2, then that could definitely spark a bigger sell-off right here. But as long as we are trading above it, then actually it's looking bullish, because the RSIs, the momentum indicators, they are resetting and preparing for a next uptrend. Let's go to Algorand. Similar situation, bearish divergence on daily time frame. A little bit worrying, but can be can be bullish too. I think this is going to be important level 112. That is actually quite a drop from the levels we are right now. That's a drop of 36%. But yeah, we broke above previous all-time high. We broke back below it, a little bit choppy. We got this buy wick, which is a good thing, which means that there were quite some buyers below we actually tested the support, or before we actually tested the support. So that is a good sign. Yeah, I think this is looking good as long as Bitcoin, EGLD, BTC, as long as Bitcoin breaks that support. Let's go to the Bitcoin comparative. Yeah, right here we don't yet have that confidence. Not yet. We have that horizontal resistance coming up at approximately 3,350, where we're right now trading below. So yeah, it would be nice to as well see some strength in the Bitcoin comparative before getting that confidence in USD as well. Let's go to EOS. Yeah, so this is looking quite interesting. These are the charts I like to watch. I remember EOS from I even did the pre-sale of EOS in 2017, like the ICO. I joined it, and here also like a dash. We got a 97% loss in the Bitcoin comparative since the top in 2018. So this is again how the altcoins behave in a bear market. Really, they really bleed a lot. It's also choppy, of course, so that's also confusing right here. It goes down, up. We have these bounces in between, so then you get a little bit this fake, false hope, like, oh yeah, it's going good. It might return right here, but no. In this bear market, it's just because this rally is just based on hype, emotions. People who are in it for the short term, people who are not really interested in the tech, not really interested in the revolution, but more just like, oh, I want to have gains right now. And there's a lot of euphoria. There's people throwing a lot of money in, but also a lot of panic once that ship is turning. But right now, after such a capitulation, this is starting to look quite interesting, I have to say. Well, fundamentally, not so bullish on EOS. I don't really know. I think it's like a kind of Ethereum, right, with decentralized apps and so on. But this is looking quite good with an entry right now, approximately. But we have this W pattern with a bullish divergence on the daily time frame. We broke above the neckline right here. We turned that neckline into support. So this could be a trade with kind of low risk, actually with a 5% down risk in the Bitcoin comparative, because if you get the daily close below, you might want to exit. But yeah, this could be a nice trade because we had such a capitulation. I might even gonna look at that to enter one trade. Let's have a look at the USD comparative of EOS. So here we already have seen the breakout coming, and we got rejected at, we have a special level right here where we got rejected. Let's have a look. Yeah, right now some divergences, but yeah, they don't yet have to mean anything. I think, yeah, for the US dollar comparative, it's looking like we might see a correction before we are going to break this level. So in the US dollar comparative, I'm getting bullish on EOS once we break above the 8.75 US dollar level. Then I would turn bullish. We could do it quite soon. We could definitely do it quite soon. But that would be a level. And right now we are trading. This is also an interesting. Right now we are really trading between 5.60 and 8.80. Approximately, maybe slightly below 8.70, something like that. So that's the consolidation range right now. But interesting, I think EOS interesting in the Bitcoin comparative. Let's go to Ethereum. Let's go, what's going on here? Okay, Ethereum is at new all-time highs. Yeah, so this is really how Ethereum is going to close. Today, if we close above the previous all-time high daily close, that would be definitely bullish. I think Ethereum really wants to go for it. Ethereum is looking quite good. Let's go to Ethereum BTC. I should really be careful right here. The moment we are touching in the Bitcoin comparative, the 0 to 0 51.8 level. Because I think it's unlikely for Ethereum to just shoot directly above it without any retest. That's what I would say. But there's also one argument you can make for Ethereum. Sometimes when it goes, and it's really aggressive. Like let's have a look in 2000, like right here, for example. Let's go to the weekly time frame. This was, so yeah, this was in 2018 and 2017, beginning of 2018, where we just like we took off and we had a major rally. I remember this one. Major rally of 400% or something, but market structure right now looks slightly different than back then. So I would definitely consider that as the less likely a scenario to happen right now. But yeah, it's crypto, so everything can happen. But I wouldn't say that is the most likely. I think it's more likely we are getting a rejection first before we get a real test of breaking above this level. Let's go to 0x in the Bitcoin comparative. I remember this coin as well from 2017 or 2018. So here we also have this long capitulation. And right now it's looking, let's have a look from the top till the bottom. 95 capitulation, 85% we are down right now. So yeah, definitely if you like this coin, then this is definitely a nice time to buy. 85% from its all-time high in the Bitcoin comparative. Let's go daily to look at the levels. Yeah, and to really get bullish, I would say it should break above this level, 3,250 approximately. Let's have a look at the US dollar. So yeah, this one looks US dollar quite similar as what was it? A couple of coins we just had a look at. Also, there's some of these coins, they really have similar behavior, so that is also quite interesting. But right, they also bearish divergence don't have to be bearish unless we break that support. I think the support is right now $1.22. That's the level I would be watching. And let's have a look at Polkadot Bitcoin comparative. So Polkadot, quite interesting. Yeah, Polkadot came into a support zone right here, now bouncing off from it, so that is quite nice. This is in the Bitcoin comparative, so I think to really get bullish, we should like get above these levels, 69,000 satoshis up to 70,000 satoshis, slightly above that. That would be better case. And this zone can be a nice accumulation zone. I think so too, which is starting at 61,000 to 59,000 approximately, slightly below that 58,000. But if we were to break below that, then that can be bad for Polkadot. That was Bitcoin comparative. Let's go to US dollar comparative. So yeah, it looks in some kind of consolidation mode right now, just moving sideways. Also not yet a clear direction. That is also because we don't have this clear direction yet in the crypto markets, right? Like Ethereum is leading the way a little bit right now, but also not yet confirmed. We don't have that confirmed in the Bitcoin dominance, and we don't know what Bitcoin's price is going to do yet. So that is this uncertainty is definitely keeping some alts right now from breaking out. But I would say like these are the most important levels. .USD, the 40 US dollar level, of course, if that flips support, that's a good sign. And below us, we have the support coming at 28, 29 US dollar. Let's go RAN BTC. I think it's an interesting coin. Yeah, this is looking quite interesting. I have my buy entry at 78.6%, which, as you can see, got a nice wick to it, and right now it's taking off with a nice bullish divergence, with a lower low in the price, higher low in the RSI. So this is definitely one of the coins where I would say like, yeah, this is looking interesting. Again, in the Bitcoin comparative, we got a capitulation of 81%. After the rally, right now we're down 67%, and let's have a look at the that's bright, at the REN on coin market cap. Yeah, REN is looking quite interesting. It's ranked number 98 with a market cap of not even 1 billion. So this is a low cap altcoin. I think it's doing something similar as Chainlink. Yeah, between different blockchain platforms. So REN is also kind of a oracle like Chainlink and like Band protocol. So quite interesting. I think this this could be a nice altcoin trade, definitely. And yet, be careful. Don't just to warning. Don't trade these things with leverage, because I've seen a lot of people, they got hurt with REN in the Bitcoin comparative with leverage because it went to a certain level. Or that was in the US dollar comparative. But a lot of people got a problem with a huge wick. So I would really suggest don't trade these altcoins with leverage, because it's just too risky. Yeah, right now this is also REN in the US dollar comparative also looking quite good. Nice horizontal support resistance level, which is still holding. Looking quite interesting, REN, I have to say. Yeah, low caps actually banned. Today's coins which were looking good was actually banned EOS, REN so far. Chainlink already is taking off right now. Let's go to XRP BTC. Yeah, to me honestly, this is not looking good. Definitely not looking so good. Big divergence on the RSI. Already had a massive pump. Yeah, but in the Bitcoin comparative, still very undervalued compared to earlier in the previous bull market. However, previous bull market, XRP was really one of the top coins. So it was like in the top 3 of coin market cap. And right now there is like a lot of variety. And I'm not sure if XRP is going to get this status back. I'm not sure about that. So I think XRP is often quite difficult to analyze. It has quite choppy price action. Yeah, and in the US dollar comparative, it also looks quite done. It looks like it wants to correct. So XRP for me is not looking too interesting. Then let's go to Stellar. Yeah. So here you can see quite the behavior of the altcoins. Like if we have a look at Stellar, right here we had in, let me move my camera. Right here, 9 December 2019, we started to rally till right here, till the 4th of January. So that is like, let's say that is even less than a month. So we have in this whole multi-year time frame, we have less than a month this major rally, and in the rest of the multi-year time frame, it's just in a downtrend. And this is how often altcoins behave. So you only want to be in this altcoin in this moment. You don't want to be in this altcoin in this all of these years. All of these years. You don't want to be in this altcoin. So that's also what I'm trying to say when you're thinking about being positioned in altcoins for the longer term time frame. Be careful, because this altcoin too, from its whole lifetime, you just wanted to be positioned in this altcoin, not even 1 month, and we're talking about 4 years history right now. So that is something, yeah, you should definitely take in mind. Let's go to XLM USD. Okay, we got some divergences. We broke below previous all-time high right here. Also not looking too strong, I would say. Not very interesting right now, but might become interesting in the bull market later on. But I think right now it's not yet interesting. Let's go to synthetics. This looks quite similar as some other examples we have seen before. Synthetics, horizontal resistance, RSI coming down, price coming down. I think as long as we are trading above, what is this level, 15 US dollars, we can continue this uptrend. Below 15 is bearish. And let's go to Uniswap Bitcoin first. Okay, so we literally just broke out Uniswap Bitcoin comparative. Quite nice, I would say. So when this level holds, level of 62,000 Satoshis, then that's looking good for Uni. Enough space on the RSI too. And in the US dollar comparative, it's on the verge of breaking some form of resistance, which is the 37, maybe 37, 38 level US dollar. So that could be good for Uniswap. Let's go to VeChain. Wow, yeah, VeChain had a major rally. Like, yeah, I would definitely not touch this coin, to be honest, because this might be the month of the coin you want to be positioned, and afterwards you get a multi-year long bear market. Maybe not, maybe we continue this uptrend. However, if you enter right here, there is a lot of space to the downside, right? So that's why you want to get in these coins when there is not so much space to the downside anymore. But now there's so much space, so that also comes with an increased risk. So I wouldn't touch this coin, to be honest. I'll quickly look at USD. Yeah, also already had a major rally, not yet a significant correction. I would be careful with this one. And then we have yen. Yeah, we've talked about this in the previous video. Yeah, yen looks actually quite okay. We had this nice kind of bottoming pattern, inverse head and shoulders, not really, but like a nice neckline. We broke above, back tested as support. Now we go in an uptrend, testing the next level at approximately one Bitcoin per year in finance. And if we go Yen Finance USD. Trying to break one level right now. We see increase in amounts of volume, which is also good. So this is not looking too bad either. Then we have the last one, which is Zcash privacy coin. Which is looking quite interesting. Yeah, but I remember this coin also from 2017 right here. And we also have, I had some Zcash back here. We got also 97% correction over the past years. And now we might see the reversal and go back up. 3,700 is an important level, and Zcash USD. That there is. Also looking not too bad. Just broke above this level, back tested that support, and yeah, wants to continue this uptrend. So Zcash not too bad either. So guys, I guess that were the charts. There were a lot of charts today, right?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
With the Wi-Fi, Yearn.
Yeah.
So you said, it looks good. So basically, if you're in it and you're right now, I'm down a bit, just a little bit, like maybe 1,000 or something. But and I'm just wondering, the potential looks good to you?
Yeah, you want me to have a look again in the US dollar or in the Bitcoin?
Yes,
US dollar,
dollar.
right? And the thing is, like, it's looking good. Like the volume is coming in. It's just really depending on Bitcoin, right? As long as Bitcoin is not doing any crazy move like drop, then I think then most likely this will continue to grow. It's looking like a healthy uptrend what is forming right here, and it looks like once this uptrend is breaking a nice resistance, it can pop and make a nice rally. So this just looks like a good uptrend. We got increase in volume. So I would say this is looking good. And in the Bitcoin comparative, it's looking quite strong. Well, Yen.
Great. And I mean, are they talking about, like, what the long-term potential for this is?
Long-term potential for Yen, you mean fundamentally or technically?
Both.
Both. So fundamentally, it's doing something similar as staking, right? So I think DeFi has quite some potential, but I wouldn't too much dream on this potential, because there is still a lot of risks going on, like I would definitely say, like, if you see the end of the bull market coming, we have signs that we topped out, then you definitely want to take profits in US dollars, and you don't want to hold this till we get like 95% correction, and like at the next cycle or something. That's the thing. Like don't get married with these projects, because they sound like awesome, and a lot of them are also awesome, but the market is still based on hype and emotion. So even though the project has potential, it will correct.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. You had talked about getting some Yearn and staking it. I'm just wondering, where are you doing that, or did you do it?
No, I'm doing Aave. I'm staking with Aave now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have like two things I'm doing now, like, and that's just like small things. I'm staking centralized on BlockFi, and I'm staking decentralized on Aave. I just wanted to head at both places. I want to have an account, because at the further we get right now in the bull market, the more profits I'm going to take, and I think the majority of those profits I'm just going to put into staking.
Yeah, well, I'm staking a lot of things right now. So, but yeah, I was curious, what, and I'm not familiar with BlockFi. Is that something you can get on Like, and not any, but like on several different platforms, or do you have to go to?
No, BlockFi.com is just a company. So you can make an account on their website, BlockFi.com. They have a KYC, so you have to like upload your passport and stuff, and you can just deposit stable coins there, and they give you a 8% yearly interest, similar as
8%, right.
decentralized. So, but I like to do the both ways. The decentralized I also really like, so that's why I have an account on Aave. And
Okay,
Aave,
yeah.
I really picked because Kieran advised that. But yeah, you also have like Compound and stuff. But I think Aave is actually good. It's quite easy to use. Set up with a ledger or with another wallet. I've set it up with my ledger, and yeah, it was actually quite easy to start staking there. Right now, it's just in the contract staking. I didn't put much money. I just made it already, so I can like deposit more once I have more set.
And where are you? And you're holding it in your own.
Yes, you're on the
Okay.
private key, so nobody can touch it.
Okay, yeah. I'd like to get some BlockFi, but my passport's being renewed, so I don't have it right now.
Oh yeah. They ask a picture of the
Upload.
passport. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the help.
Jeroen, could we quickly look at Matic if possible?
Sure. USD or Bitcoin?
Perhaps both, but Bitcoin
Both.
first. Yeah.
Let's go to Bitcoin. Yeah, so it's quite funny, right? Like this is also like we have seen a lot of coins today, like really a lot, and this one is like some coins, the behavior of some coins is really looking similar. Like this chart we have seen quite often today, right? Like this pump now is like ranging sideways with this like drop like after a huge wick, and yeah, so in the Bitcoin comparative, I would say this is yeah, it's not looking good, not looking bad. We are on an uptrend. It looks like it wants to continue this uptrend. We'll have a look at the US dollar comparative. I think this is an important level of 575 approximately. And right now we have a level right here, which it's trying to break right now. So yeah, I think Bitcoin comparative is looking good. Let's have a look at Matic right here. Is this one?
Yes. Polygon. Yeah.
Polygon, yeah. 59. Oh yes, I know this one. Okay, this also has quite some potential, right? Like with getting rid of the fees from Ethereum. So that's quite interesting. In the US dollar comparative, it's looking quite interesting, I would say. Ranging sideways, RSI is going down, but yeah, don't have yet that breakout. So we really want to see leaving this consolidation range and might break the declining resistance of the RSI. But this is in generally that's bullish when the price moves sideways and the RSI goes down. That's a good signal.
Yeah, I had put in some funds in it some time ago. I didn't take profits because it was really going up, and when I was going to take profits, it kept going up. So I said I'll keep it, and now it's moving sideways. So just keeping it. So, what I heard from you is that it has potential. So I'm just gonna hold on to it until.
I would wait, and like because we consolidate, we could just like continue this uptrend. That is the most likely scenario. I would just watch the level of 30 cents approximately. If we would break that level, then you might want to hit the sell button.
Thank you.
Okay, girls, should we call it a day for today, or are there any more questions left?
That's great. Thank you, Sharon.
You had a nice session today.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah,
really nice.
thank you. Great session.
Good, awesome to hear that. Thank you for joining.
Will you be uploading the slides soon?
Yes, because when yes, I will try to do it right now. If it takes too long, because sometimes it takes a couple of hours because it has to export from Zoom and upload on YouTube. Otherwise, I will do it tomorrow. But I will try to do it today. If not, it will be tomorrow when I wake up.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great day, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.